always interesting to hang out with duos, because in a duo, it's always like everything is halved, like right down the middle. It's a kind of a marriage of sorts, you know?
Yeah.
But what always is interesting for me is that coming together of two minds. It's two different people from two different perspectives with two different things that they're trying to do, but sometimes the goal kind of like becomes one thing. Now, SPHEctacula, your journey started completely differently, you know? I've had the privilege to see it,
And misfortune.
to see it like grow.
Yeah.
But a lot of what's been documented about your DJ career is that it all started out at Wits.
Yeah.
You want to share with us a little bit how that started?
I think it all started out more in my bedroom than anything else, like back in the high school days, because my folks were hardly around, always busy, so my crib was where people hung out. So I literally used to have to get the latest music and just have people entertained at the crib. That's where everyone would hang out after school and on weekends, so I'd be playing all the dopest jams. And when people like wanted music to play at parties or whatever, they'd come to me and say, please just put stuff together for me. So I was there with the cassettes and the pen, you know the drill. So I started doing the kind of stuff there, and that's where like my passion for it grew. I mean, I used to listen to the late night shows on Metro FM on the weekends and hear all the latest tunes and record songs from there as well, and like did my own kind of compilations. So one of the reasons why I went to Johannesburg instead of staying in Durban for varsity was the fact that I wanted to explore that side a bit more. And fortunately for me, Voice of Wits at the time had a mobile DJ situation, but they wouldn't let us like jump on properly. We'd have to carry speakers and amps to gigs, but they wouldn't let us play. So then we invented our own thing, and that was the Wits DJ Society, and the rest is history.
You mentioned something about having to carry your equipment around, which a lot of DJs nowadays don't get.
Have no idea what that's about.
Yeah. How do you think like some of the early experiences that have nothing to do with you actually being on the decks and the people that you met have lent to SPHEctacula now?
I think like paying your dues also led to you meeting a lot of people, you know, like I knew sound guys, I knew radio people, I knew people that actually did events, and like I knew people that did street marketing. So everyone that had a strength that played a role in the game, we kind of had to know at the time. Now it's a lot easier. You Google the information, you know that like then you can just put it out there, and there's also companies that provide a full solution for you now. Back in the day, you had to go and meet everyone and shake hands and meet them, and they vibe with you and then put you on. So people like Milkshake and Dimples and DJ MZ also then joined the DJ Society. So we met them, and then we also kind of branched over into doing the entertainment for the SRC, and that's where I met people via all the bashes, like your Freshers, your DJ Cleos, your DJ Mondes, you know, your Euphonics. And then that kind of led to the nightlife scene in general in Johannesburg, where then I met your naked DJs. I met this guy who was a hater. Oh my God, but he's here now.
Talking about meeting DJ Naves, I met him in probably like the weirdest way, and he probably won't even remember this interaction, right? So I used to work at a TV production company way back, right? And there was the show that I used to work on and also produce. So all the music that would come onto the show, I would curate.
Right.
And Squatter Camp at the time was hot.
Yeah.
The thing. And also Slicker was putting out his own singles. There was this guy that I used to liaise with from Butterbean Entertainment. And little did I know, like years later, yo, this is the same label that I used to talk to on the phone. You grew up around music as well, and I know that quite early on you were throwing parties and so forth. Where did it all get started for you?
I think, so Euphonic and my parents went to the same University of Zululand. And then by the time I got to grade 8, we were sort of, so he was at a different school from me, but we were all part of this thing called Intercon. And Intercon was just like a bunch of students who'd do good through the year, then would go to a camp at the end of the year. Basically, that's what it was. So when I then started hanging out with Euphonic a lot more at Intercon, we started going to parties together, and he was DJing. I think he was DJ Virus. Yeah, I think his DJ name at the time was Virus. And what was happening was, with the boom of YFM and Naked having now jumped on with Thomas, there was nobody else to play the hip hop. So somehow, slowly, I just was like, actually, I'll just do it for that. And that was it basically for me. So a lot of it was influenced by Euphonic, definitely.
I find that like both of you guys have like some influences that have come into your lives that have shaped where you are right now.
Yeah.
Now, especially for you, Naves, you came from a point of view of aside from SPHEctacula, the studying, the Wits DJ society, but from your side you got to throw parties, but also you got to get involved in music from the strategic as well as the management point of view.
Yeah.
You know? What kind of things did you learn while you were working at Bada Bing with the Slickers as well as the team?
There's nothing you don't learn. So you're the A&R, you're the music sampler, you're the plug, you do everything there, you're the DJ. Yeah. So you guys leave the office, you literally live together. You come into work Monday to Friday, 8 till 4, 3, and then you leave there, and if there's events at night as a crew, everybody goes there. And if there's gigs, everybody goes there. So it's an entire movement. You literally learn the 360 of the business. It's like I always say, it's the school of Siametane and Lebogang Mutibe. Yeah.
The interesting part you mentioned, the 360 of music, and this is a question for both of you guys, is a lot of artists nowadays are jumping just as artists. The rest of the 360 is a bit sorted out. So they come in, I'm this artist, and then I've got my manager, I've got this, I've got that. You guys have gotten to taste every single part of it. But it's not as verbose to the person now watching this going, I want to start a music career. If I'm DJ Virus, and I want to start my career in 2020, what are the pieces that I need to start putting together right now that I need to be aware of and not just come in as DJ Virus?
Getting the basics right is very, very important. I mean, like Naves always kind of shares this with all the new, talents that we meet on our journey. He says, does your neighbor know that you DJ? Does your neighbor know that you sing? So if your neighbor doesn't know that you do all of that stuff, how are you going to, convince the other, millions of strangers out there that you're this amazing talent? Let's start there, get the basics right, let people co-sign you. And this is like a very interesting test for me. People come to you all the time and say, this is the hottest song ever. I don't pay attention to that. I don't even listen to it. Every single hot song that I've kind of heard and gone, okay, you're right, has been a co-sign on some. I've got this kid, I've got this neighbor, I heard this song, give it an ear. So I let people kind of test and filter, stuff on what's happening out there for me first before I finally give it attention. And then I'm like, okay, this is dope, let's co-sign it. So that's the thing. Get your network right. Let people, really put you on first, and then from there it can spread.
I think also because the game has changed and the way the things done have changed. So I think currently talent is not enough. There's a lot of hard work that needs to go with it. So you need to put in the hours. You need to make sure you're at the right spots as well. But most importantly it's a 360. Yeah. So if you want to DJ, your DJing must be dope. If you producing music, it must be dope. Whatever you do must be dope. But Spear said it, the cosign starts within. You know what I mean? Because then your friends go and tell their friends about, my friend is a DJ and it's quite dope. So if you're having a party, you must have him at this party. And then it knocks and builds and builds and builds and so forth until it gets you to a point where there's like momentum of sorts,
Absolutely, because I mean I've seen it in my own personal life, like just being co-signed by you guys at certain points, it actually helped, and I'm sure you guys have also been co-signed by people at some point. But the one thing that I really appreciate about your guys' relationship and the relationship that I have with you is that we not only embrace the great things about this career and like the steps that you need to follow if you want to be who you want to be. Because I mean, it's well documented. Everyone hears, these are the steps you must follow. This is what you must do. But the one thing that you guys are really good at embracing is heartbreak. Like, I'm sure that you guys have gone through a lot of things where you're like, I really want to do this particular thing right now. And God says, not right now. Or the universe says, not right now. Yeah. I know that you've worked at Metro, you've wanted to be on radio forever. And your journey has spiraled. Like, what are the heartbreaks that people don't talk about as someone who wants to achieve their dreams? So like, for instance, you wanted to be on radio. What are some of the hurdles that you had to jump over?
I think I always knew that in some form or some way I'd be here. I think like what paying my dues kind of taught me was to be resilient. You know what I'm saying? So if this particular door is not opening at this time, give it time. Come back to it, like go arm yourself, like make sure that like when they open the door, there's more respect for you so that next time you don't even need to knock on the door, it'll open for you. That's what I've learned. I remember when I used to produce Euphonics show at the time, my house. Then I started working for that station, like at the same time. They told me to get off air, not be involved in the show, and not be on air with Euphonic. And I was like, but how is that taking away from what I'm doing, like on the other side? I'm still doing it well. And they're just like, no, those two parts just don't meet. And I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. But funnily enough, it was interesting that when I then had to sign over to start working on air at Metro, the same people that had said, no, you can't do that in the beginning, are the ones that made sure that that deal happened. So just how the universe works is also just very amazing. But I think once people also see like how serious you are about something and the fact that they feel that if they give you a shot, you can really take it and run with it, then it changes a lot of things. So it goes back to co-signing and people trusting like what you're about, and also looking at the intensity and the sincerity of what you're doing and wanting to open that door for you.
Yeah, heartbreak. So I deal with things a lot differently. I'm like the one thing I think I've been blessed with, or rather that was instilled in me, is the ultimate self-confidence. So I get up, and if you throw a punch and it hits me, I move around and I say I'm still coming back. You know, so I don't really look at it as setbacks. I just look at it more as a challenge. It's like, okay, I need to get through. But if you say no now, in 10 years' time, if I'm on the other side, I'm gonna remind you of your no. To this day, I do it to people. I'm like, you remember? Yeah. So I don't really look at them as heartbreaks. It's more like, how can you come back stronger from?
It's timing challenges.
You guys have always come back stronger because fast forward, you probably one of the most exciting moments for me as a radio listener is when seeing you guys get together. Naves on the boards, SPHEctacula doing his thing on the mic, and that was super special when you guys originally got together on where the Kings of the Weekend actually started. Then fast forward, you moved to Kakas, right? And something that's well documented, you guys made a choice for yourselves to go, you know what, we're here, we're under contract, but we're bouncing. Just talk us through how that feels, because even making a choice like that is huge. It could backfire, it could be amazing. What was going through your guys' head?
I think once again, Lloyd, it comes down to it. Like, it backfiring and it not working was never an option. It had to work. And once again, it's the ultimate self-confidence to say, like, we're really good at what we do and we know it. So let's go do it somewhere else, and then you will come back for us. Yeah. And the other important thing is to say, with or without a TV show, we're going to be okay. Because if we're not doing that, there's definitely 4 other things we're working on that, you know, and by the time that need to mature, and by the time we come back to the TV door, it's going to swing open in a different way entirely. So I think that was the most important thing, and having the same conversation with people over and over 3 to 4 years, and actually seeing that, like, actually there were 4 or 5 opportunities where you could have given us our shot and you didn't. We had to then go and create our own shot and be like, all right, cool. We'll be back, and we'll be back, you know what I mean? And it's also just having the balls to go and sit down with people and say, listen, Lloyd, I'm not like discounting anything you have done for me or the chance that you've given me. But for me to grow as a person, I need to go and do this. Please let me go.
Thank you very much. Keep it rocking, Ogo. And I'm looking forward to how the single's going to be doing, everything that you guys are going to be doing in 2020 and beyond.